record, Let All That We Imagine Be the Light. So Let All That We Imagine Be the Light is the 8th studio album by American rock band Garbage. It was released on May 30th, 2025. It was recorded between 2022 and 2024. Various delays in the recording and writing cycle, but officially released in May. So, Eric, your background with Garbage / your initial thoughts on this record.
So I've never really got into Garbage. And
okay.
I think I've always seen the name around, especially the Pink album with the big G on it.
The debut.
Yeah, that's like, I think their like top album, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, their first and second records are, I would say, tied, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So all I know going into here, like I only really heard the their James Bond theme from The World Is Not Enough.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah.
They did that one, and I wasn't really a fan of that compared to all the Bond like scores. I wasn't really a fan of it. And being a huge James Bond fan too, it's definitely low on my list of favorite James Bond songs. It's definitely at the bottom. But so I always just associated them. Oh, it's that band that did that song that I don't like.
Yeah,
not a fan of. So this is kind of like my first introduction to Garbage. So any other fans that are listening to this right now, please direct me if you think that I should check this band out. Because I was definitely intrigued. At the beginning, it definitely took a while to get into. It took a couple listens to kind of like, because it has that industrial rock kind of component to it.
Yep.
It's like the female Trent Reznor, right? But I wouldn't compare the skill maybe to Trent Reznor.
Right. Yeah.
But it has that same kind of like, that's the sound that they're trying to go for. So I thought it was just interesting until I got to the song Hold. It was the third song that kind of like really kind of brought me into the album. I was like, this is an interesting sounding song.
Okay.
And the more I listen to it, the slower I'm getting into the album. Because I don't know what it is about it. It's hard to listen to the lyrics because there's a lot of like repeats in the words.
Right.
And I think it's just like the ambience. What I thought I like dug about this album was that I did some kind of a little bit of background, but when they recorded this album, which makes sense why they took them so long to record this one. So they were actually sending ideas back and forth digitally. So it wasn't like they recorded in the same room or anything. They recorded it on their own, like parts on their own, and they would send. So with that having said, you kind of lose a bit of a human element to the songs, but they did a pretty good job of preserving it though, because I felt like there was still this like ambiance in the songs that you were in. Now I did find when you put this album on and you're trying to get stuff done, it was perfect. It was perfect song to kind of just like get stuff done, and you can kind of listen to it in the background. I wouldn't say there's anything special going on in this. Like,
right. Okay.
But what are your thoughts?
Okay, so background for me, I am a Garbage fan, but not like I'm not like a super fan of Garbage. So like as growing up, I did listen to Garbage. So I listened to their debut record a lot, and their second record, version 2.0, I listened to a lot. Those two records I listened to like quite heavily. I like Bleed Like Me a little bit, but like the first two records really did it for me for Garbage. I really like this band. But I never really listened to anything post that for the most part, like singles here and there. But I really like this band. From my understanding, because I didn't listen to sort of their middle discography, they've gone in that middle section, like very political or made a lot of social commentary in their music. But on this record, there is very little of that. And it feels very much like the first and second records. I would say the first and second record has more pop hits. Like they're trying to get more popular. With this one, they definitely went more for like the feeling or the vibe of the record rather than trying to hit like a pop record, which is good and bad. It sort of had a cohesiveness to the record where from front to back it felt like a record, like a single statement. But I do agree there wasn't anything really special on this record where I'm like, oh yeah, that's the banger on this one. But I do agree if you just put this in the background, like it was an easy record to just get shit done, which was good.
Mhm.
I think I guess the polarizing thing of this is if you do not this band is very much a sort of industrial grungy type of band. However, they production wise they are clean. Like you can hear every single bass note, every single guitar, like the stack guitars, the vocals, like everything about their production is super clean, even though the genre that they sit in is like very like a dirt sound or like, like an industrial sound
Mhm.
type of thing. And that's all to the credit of, I would assume, Butch Vig, one of the band members in Garbage, because he's the one who did Nevermind for Nirvana, right? So like his
Mhm.
sort of making Kurt Cobain and co into a pop mega superstardom thing, but making a very clean record for a very harsh vocalist, like that translates into this record and most of Garbage's discography, I would say. Just like making everything sound like really thick and really
Mhm.
dirty, but like very clear at the same time.
I definitely have a love for industrial rock because like again, I didn't hate it and I feel like the more I listen to it, the more I am liking it and it's almost like unboxing this
Yeah.
I and it's cool because I like even coming down to the album art, like I could tell this band is just by listening to this album that they're perfectionists in the sense that like you said, like everything sounds so clean
Mm-hmm.
and crisp and everything's there for a purpose and like I would say the feel of this album is the album art like I can definitely picture that image in my head when these songs are playing.
Yeah, even like the album art, this is their eighth record. It's an octopus, which is eight legs. Like there's a lot of like that symbolism in this band. They like take a lot of time to like really like make the message cohesive and make sense. So like from that respect, like a production wise, like I really like this record because it was
Hmm.
really clean. Now, I don't know. At the same time, I'm like, it was a not a fun record. It was a nice listen to. I liked it. And I think if you're a Garbage fan, you'll like this record.
Hmm.
But I don't think this record is good for newcomers to this band. I really don't
Hmm.
think this is a record you should start with if you're trying to get into Garbage because there isn't really that hook on this. Um, I really like the opener. There's no future in optimism. The
Hmm.
title's
I like
great.
that. I like that title
Yeah,
too.
the title's
Yeah,
great.
it's so good.
I like the title. I like Chinese Fire Horse, which is the second one. I liked all the songs on this record, but at the same time, it's like there isn't a hook to be like, this is the band I have to listen to, and
Mhm.
go through their back catalog and figure out what else they've done. I still think their first two records are like where it's at with this band. But
Mhm.
if you are a longtime listener of Garbage, I think you'll like this record because it's very much in line with their sound. It just doesn't have those like pop hooks that really really
Mhm.
get you. So,
What did you think of the last song?
I liked it. It was dark, and which is like
I thought it was a really cool closer
yeah,
to the album.
yeah. There's a like this whole record is dark, grungy, but like production wise, it's I think the more you listen to it, the more you appreciate it because Butch Vig and Co have like stacked guitars. I bet you if you look at the multi-track on any of these, they probably have like 50 guitars at any given point, just like stacking guitars on it on top of each other and just making that wall of sound. So like the more you
That's
listen
funny.
to it, the more you like pick up on certain things. which is nice. But you know, I just don't think it's a good record for like new people. If they're trying to
Mm.
find a new audience, this is not the record for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it sounds good. Final thoughts, ratings, Eric? What are you gonna give this one?
Like I said, I think like the octopus, like it's camouflage. Like if you're in the ocean snorkeling, and I've tried so hard to try to find octopus in the ocean, it's very difficult to find because they're well camouflaged. So I kind of take that as like you were saying, like it sounds like everything is made for a purpose.
Mm,
So it's almost like the more I listen to this, the more that brighter that octopus gets to me, and
mm,
the more I actually like this album. But I do agree with you. I think that if you're listening to this as this is your first introduction, I can see many people being like, "This isn't for me,"
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Um, but that being said, with the amount of times I've listened to this, I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 and you know what? That's probably going to grow by the end year
Mm,
review.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I could see that. Yeah. As a fan of Garbage, man, this one's tough because like on one hand, I know it's
don't piss off the fans, Ken.
no, but I know it's not an 8 because there isn't a hook in here. I think
Mhm.
I agree with you. I think it's a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good sounding record. There's nothing really I can fault with it from that perspective. But there is no like there's no reason for a new person to like listen to this and be like, this is my favorite band now, or I really liked this part of the record. Like it's just a vibey record from front to back. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna give it a 7 too.
Mm.
Yeah. But listen to the first record, listen to the second record. Like I think the
Okay.
first
I
record,
will.
the opener to that record is like the perfect opener to a record. It's so good. It's like it opens up with just like the heavy like a very nice synthy heavy guitar, and then there's a pause and you're like, what happened? And then they just hit you again with that same riff. It's such a nice intro.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
It's so good.
I'll check it out.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. All right, perfect. All right, so that was our discussion on Let All That We Imagine Be the Light, Garbage's new record. For those of you following along with us every single week, the record that we are going to be discussing is the brand new Lil Wayne record, Carter 6. It's going back to hip hop, but this should be. I have high expectations for this because every single Lil Wayne record is like amazing. So I hope this one's just as good, but we'll see. But yeah, Carter 6, Lil Wayne. That's the record that we are going to be discussing next time. Uh, but yeah, that is the podcast for another week. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is the Crossroads Music Podcast. Oops, I forgot we had fan mail, but we'll talk about it next week.
Oh,
I
we do have
completely,
fan
yeah, we
mail.
do have fan mail, but I forgot we ran out of time. But
Oh,
stay
damn.
tuned. Stay tuned for next week. We'll read some fan mail.
I
Uh,
love the fan mail.
but yeah, we're here at twitch.tv/the Crossroads Music Podcast, live at 10 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. PT. Catch us on Apple Music, Spotify, all the places where you get your podcasts. I think that's it. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will catch you all next time.